Can Pomni actually communicate with the abstracted? That is the question at the center of this video, and I think the answer points to something much bigger than most people noticed after watching the finale. The ability to reach an abstracted character and actually get through to the person trapped inside would be something no other character in the entire series has ever managed to do, and there are two pieces of evidence that suggest Pomni can do exactly that. To understand why this matters, you need to remember what abstraction actually means inside the world of this show. When someone abstracts, they stop being the person they were and become something else entirely, a dark mass of chaos that cannot hold a conversation or follow a simple instruction, and is considered by everyone in the circus to be effectively unreachable. Kane sends them to the cellar while the rest of the cast treats them as completely gone, and there is an unspoken rule running through all 9 episodes that once someone has abstracted, that is the end of who they were. Almost nothing across the whole series challenges that assumption. Almost nothing. The first piece of evidence comes from episode 9, and it is the biggest one. When Pomni enters the mind of Jax after he has abstracted, she does not simply observe fragments of his memories or random images floating around, but instead finds herself inside actual alternate realities where Jax exists, responds, shows emotions, and holds full conversations with her. This is not a vague dream sequence where the rules are unclear. This is Pomni in direct contact with someone who should no longer be reachable, and Jax is clearly still there on the other side of that connection. What makes this different from anything else the show has shown us is the specifics of how it works. Pomni does not watch these alternate realities from a safe distance, but steps directly into them and participates, and Jax knows she is there. That implies that somewhere inside the abstracted version of Jax, something conscious is still operating, something that can recognize another person and respond to them. The monster that everyone else sees might be the outside layer, while the person seems to still exist underneath it in some form. There are a few different ways to read what that means. One possibility is that abstraction does not actually destroy a person's consciousness, but only breaks the connection between the mind and the body, leaving the person trapped somewhere inside while the outside becomes unrecognizable. Another possibility is that Pomni has a specific ability to reach that trapped consciousness directly, something no other character has demonstrated the capacity to do. A third possibility is that both of those things are true at the same time. The consciousness survives abstraction, and Pomni is the only one who can access it. The fact that Pomni almost abstracts herself during this process is one of the most important details in the entire sequence, and it is easy to miss in the middle of everything happening at once. The longer she stays inside Jax's mental space, the closer she gets to losing herself too, and it takes Kinger, Ragata, Zubul, and Gangle all working together to pull her back out before that happens. If communicating with an abstracted mind were completely safe, there would be no reason for that risk to exist. The danger suggests that the abstracted mind is an unstable place, and spending too long inside it starts to affect the stability of whoever entered, almost like abstraction can spread at a mental level, slowly eroding the sense of self in whoever stays too close to it for too long. The second piece of evidence is something that appeared after the episode rather than inside it. After the finale dropped, Glitch posted an illustration on Twitter with the caption, "Together, no matter what." The image shows Pomni and Jax, who is abstracted, sitting together inside the pillow fort that the group built to keep him safe, and Pomni brought a sandwich to share with him. An abstracted character does not need to eat, which is an important detail, because if Pomni brought food for a creature that has no use for it, then she was bringing it for Jax, the person she believes is still inside. The calm, quiet feeling of the image, the two of them together in a small space as if it is something they do regularly, suggests this is not a one-time visit out of guilt, but something closer to a habit. Like Pomni decided that whatever Jax has become on the outside, she is going to keep showing up for the person she knows is still in there. There is another detail in that illustration. The abstracted form of Jax in the image is noticeably smaller than what we see during the actual sequence in episode 9. In the illustration, sitting inside the pillow fort with Pomni, that same form looks shrunken, almost contained, like something that has been gradually getting smaller rather than staying fixed in the same monstrous state it was in during the episode. Now, some people would argue that this image is not canon and should not be used as evidence for anything about the show's actual lore. That is a fair point, and it is worth acknowledging. But Glitch has a pattern of publishing illustrations that expand on moments between episodes or reflect the emotional direction of the story, and choosing specifically to show Pomni sharing a quiet moment with an abstracted Jax is a deliberate creative choice. The caption makes it feel even more intentional, because together, no matter what, is a statement about a connection that survives something that normally ends everything. When you put both pieces together, what you get is a picture of Pomni that goes beyond just being the newest person in the circus. In episode 9, she demonstrates the ability to step into the mind of someone who has abstracted and hold a real conversation with them at considerable risk to herself. And after the episode ends, the implication is that she continues going back, treating Jax as someone worth spending time with, someone who can still receive what she's offering even in the state he is in. The most interesting question the theory raises is why Pomni specifically? Every other character in the circus has had years of experience dealing with abstraction, and none of them ever attempted or managed what Pomni did in episode 9. Maybe it is connected to the fact that she came close to abstracting herself multiple times during the series, and that near experience created some kind of link between her and the state she almost reached. Maybe it is tied to the level of empathy she showed consistently throughout the whole show, the way she kept trying to connect with people even when it was not easy or safe, from Gummy Goo in episode 2 all the way through to Jax at the end. Or maybe the circus itself shaped her differently from the others, giving her a role that none of them were designed to fill. But here is where the theory gets really interesting, because if Pomni can genuinely communicate with the abstracted, then a much bigger question follows from that almost immediately. Can the abstracted actually be saved? Up until now, every single character in the circus has operated under the assumption that abstraction is permanent and irreversible. Kane locks them away, the group gives up on them, nobody tries to pull them back, and the whole system accepts it as a final state with no exit. But that rule was established in a world where nobody had ever managed to reach an abstracted mind and get a real response. Pomni changed that in episode 9, which means the rule itself might need to be reconsidered entirely. If the consciousness of an abstracted character is still alive somewhere inside, then what the circus has been calling a monster is actually a person in a different kind of crisis, one that has never had anyone capable of reaching them until now. That shifts everything. It means Jax, in his abstracted state, is not a creature to be contained, but someone to be found, and Pomni might be the only one with the ability to go in and look. The sandwich in the illustration stops being just a sweet gesture and becomes evidence of something much more active. Pomni keeping the connection open, maintaining a relationship with someone everyone else has written off, because she knows there is still a person on the other side. There is also a narrative reason to take this seriously. In storytelling, when a character is shown to have a specific ability in a high-stakes moment, it usually exists for a reason beyond that single scene. Pomni entering Jax's mind and making contact with him is too specific and too unusual to be a one-time detail with no further significance. If the show, or any continuation of it, ever goes back to that world, the most logical thread to pull on is exactly this one. Pomni using what she discovered in episode 9 to try to bring someone back from a state that everybody else still considers final, starting with Jax and potentially going further from there. The objective of the story stops being about escaping the circus and becomes something much more personal and much harder, going back in for the people who got left behind. Do you think Pomni has a real ability to reach the abstracted, or do you think what happened in episode 9 was specific to Jax and their relationship? And if she really can communicate with them, do you think that opens the door to actually bringing them back? Drop it in the comments, because I think this one has a lot more to explore.